Hello, and welcome to this amazing Bacon Bits video. Heyo! Today, we're going to be talking about the very new feature, the network scanner. Very excited about this. It's a huge new feature for the product. You know what? Let's just get to it. In Bacon, under Administration, there will be a tab for Network Scanner. Let's walk through what we see. First, right now my network scanner is idle. Nothing is happening. My last scan was 9 hours ago. I could start a scan now. I'm not going to. I have some nice results for us to look through. Logs. Definitely want to look at these logs. Okay, here you see the logs. What you'll see is for each endpoint, for each IP address scanned, you get a series of results. And sometimes when we scan an IP address, we might even get additional information such as our login access was denied, which is great because that tells us the credentials we supplied for that do not work. You'll see that for this particular IP, we have access denied 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 access denied attempts. And let's have a look at why that might be. In my credential list, I'll see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different WMI credentials placed down here. To add a credential, you give it a name, the username, the password, and a domain if applicable. Once you add, they'll be listed down here. Once listed down here, you cannot get these credentials back. They are stored securely and are used at runtime, but you cannot open them up and find out what those saved creds are. That goes just as well for the SSH credentials, which would be used for logging into macOS machines and the Linux machines. For SSH, you give the cred a name, username, and password, and it works quite well. Let's review the network tab. Network tab is where you give your inclusions and your exclusions. You'll see that we have no exclusions right now, but both inclusions and exclusions could be subnets or specific IP addresses. We have 3 subnets listed right now for our inclusions. Please note that our scanner right now is a linear scan. So, on average, depending on your network, the beefiness of your Bacon system, right now we're noticing that like a scan on a subnet size /24 is like 10 minutes, give or take, 10, maybe 15. So if you bump that up to like 16/16, you're going to be waiting around for a very, very long time. Right, because if we went from 24 to 25, now that's double the time from before, or I'm sorry, 24 to 23. Anyway, you get it. It's going to take a while. So please be mindful of the ranges you want to scan and the amount of time that you're prepared to spend in that scan. So you've seen the settings. We've looked at some of the logs. We have a scan frequency right now, as you will see. I'm scanning once every day. We reviewed credentials, and now let's look at our results. There are 3 tables on results. Table 1 says identified. These are computers that we could not log into or did not respond. Now we might get some information back. For instance, these computers are up and running, so our scan gave us some information back. We were able to get back a MAC address and a vendor, but none of our logins worked. The other thing that we did get back is certain ports were open. For instance, this computer right here on a Nutanix had the WMI port open, so that's most likely a Windows machine. All the ones that had SSH open, almost certainly Mac OS or Linux machines. In fact, you'll see this one right here is an Apple itself. Okay, that's good to know. Then you'll get to these returns, where there's no hardware address or vendor listed, and the circles are very, very dark gray. This means that when scanning, not only could we not log on, but there was no response at all, and it might be that there's high security on that IP, or there's just nothing at that IP. So our results give you the entire feedback. If it didn't work, you see it in the table. If it worked, you see it in the table. That's the unidentified. Let's look at unmanaged. Unmanaged endpoints are those where there was a successful login attempt, and you'll see the credential listed. Bacon admin or bacon admin 2 or whatever your credential set would be, you would see that right here in the credentials. And so you would know that you could go back to these computers and use those credential sets to log in. An important part of this table is we are also testing from the endpoint back to the server the port connectivity. So you'll see some of our machines, though we could log into them, we could not communicate back to the Bacon server. And this would be a very important piece of information when you're trying to figure out, well, why is my Bacon agent not working? Why does my computer not connect to Bacon? For those machines that we did have a successful login on and we do want to add to Bacon, we have an action right here, install Bacon. So we could, of course, select and then install Bacon. Okay, now right now in this version, the other thing to know is that in order for the scan to work well, it needs to be in your network. And lastly, this table shows managed endpoints, meaning Bacon found these endpoints and believes that these are already covered, and either believes it because we were able to log in and find that Bacon was installed, or in instances where we couldn't get in, we still believe it's a Bacon computer because the IP address and the MAC address, those two pieces together, match an already existing endpoint inside the Bacon network. So I want to thank you so much for your time. This is the network scanning tool. It's excellent. I hope you enjoyed it.